The battlefield is alive with chaos. The ground trembles beneath your feet, the air thick with the metallic tang of blood and sweat. Your heart pounds in your chest as you grip your gladius, knuckles white beneath your gauntlets. The enemy surges forward, a tide of bodies and weapons crashing toward you. And in that moment, one chilling thought grips your mind. Most of the men around you will not survive. This is Roman warfare, brutal, relentless, and unforgiving. Surviving isn't just about strength. It's about strategy, discipline, and sometimes sheer luck. But the truth is, the best way to survive is to never step onto the battlefield at all. If you were a Roman soldier, dodging combat was an art. Social connections could be your best defense. If you had a wealthy or influential patron, they might pull strings to keep you away from the front lines. Even family status played a role. If you were over 30, married, and had children, you had a better shot at an exemption. But if all else failed, your best chance was proving you were more useful off the battlefield than on it. The Roman army wasn't just warriors. It was a machine that needed builders, scribes, and engineers. A soldier with skills in logistics, construction, or medicine might land a safer position behind the lines. And if you weren't lucky enough to be born into privilege, a well-placed letter of recommendation could make all the difference. A respected craftsman, a retired officer, even a local magistrate. If someone important vouched for your skills, you could find yourself far from the blood and steel of the battlefield. But let's say you weren't that lucky. Let's say you're here, standing shoulder to shoulder with your comrades, marching straight into war. What then? First, you shift your mindset. You accept that this isn't just about survival. Roman military service wasn't just a duty, it was a stepping stone to power. A career in the army could lead to land, wealth, and political status. Some of the greatest leaders in Rome's history carved their names into legend with a sword. That doesn't mean you fight recklessly, but it does mean understanding that if you live, you could rise. But survival starts long before the first blow is struck. The Roman army was a machine, and every soldier was a cog that needed to function flawlessly. Daily weapons drills were brutal. You'd practice the draw and thrust of your gladius until it became instinct. You'd train with your pilum, mastering the art of throwing it with deadly precision. One well-aimed pilum could shatter an enemy's shield, leaving them exposed before they even reached your line. Your gear was your lifeline. Your scutum, your massive rectangular shield, wasn't just for defense. It was part of the formation, part of the wall that kept you alive. And if your armor didn't fit, if your helmet slipped in battle, or your greaves weren't secured, that was the difference between life and death. Roman soldiers obsessively cleaned and maintained their gear because a weak spot in your armor was a weakness in your survival. But training didn't stop with weapons. You marched long distances in full armor carrying heavy packs. It was grueling, but it built endurance, the kind of stamina that would keep you fighting when others dropped. And beyond marching, you trained for combat-specific strength. Wrestling, shield bashing, resistance drills, every exercise was designed to make sure that when the enemy crashed into your line, you held your ground. Because if your formation broke, you died. But war isn't just physical, it's mental. Fear kills as easily as a sword. Roman soldiers were trained to control it, to accept death and keep fighting. Many turned to stoicism, an unshakable philosophy that taught them to focus only on what they could control. They drilled mantras into their minds, reinforcing discipline and shutting out panic. And above all, they trusted their brothers. You weren't just a soldier, you were part of a contubernium, an 8-man squad that ate, slept, and fought together. Your survival wasn't just about your skill. It was about how well your unit fought as one. Then came the day, the battle. Dawn broke, and with it came the weight of what lay ahead. Some soldiers joked, masking their nerves. Others sat in silence, whispering prayers. You forced yourself to eat. You'd need the energy, even if your stomach was twisting with dread. Then the march. The rhythmic pounding of thousands of boots. The metallic clank of armor. The steady, organized movement of an unstoppable war machine. Every man in step, every shield aligned. This wasn't just about getting to the battlefield. It was psychological warfare. You weren't just individuals, you were a force. Then the weight. The enemy stood across the field, screaming, banging weapons on shields, trying to rattle you. Ignore it. Focus on your training, your formation. This is where fear creeps in, but fear is useless now. Instead, watch. Look for movement. Listen for the signal. And then the order comes. You raise your pilum and throw. not at bodies but at shields, crippling the enemy's defense before they even close the distance. The instant the pilum leaves your hand, your gladius is in its place. No wasted time, no hesitation. The enemy crashes into your line. Brace. Your shield isn't just protection, it's a weapon. You push forward, hold firm, never break formation. The moment you fight as an individual, you die. Your world shrinks to the few feet in front of you. There is no grand strategy, no sweeping battlefield tactics. There is only survival. Strike with precision. Shield up, gladius out. One thrust, one kill. Don't swing wildly. Keep it tight, keep it efficient. And then relief the rotation. Every 15 minutes, frontline soldiers rotate back, giving the exhausted a chance to recover. A moment to breathe, but stay ready. The cycle continues, grinding the enemy down, maintaining the unbreakable Roman war machine. But battles don't always go to plan. Sometimes the tide turns against you. The worst thing you can do? Run. A routed army is a slaughtered army. If panic spreads and your line collapses, the enemy will cut you down as you flee. The only way to survive a losing battle is discipline. Stick with your unit. Withdraw tactically, never chaotically. If your formation shatters, find another one fast. A small, organized group has a chance. A lone soldier has none. And then it's over. The battlefield is silent. Bodies litter the ground. You check yourself for wounds. Adrenaline can hide fatal injuries. Then you help your comrades. Because every soldier who lives today is one more shield beside you in the next battle. And that, above all, is the key to surviving a Roman war. You are not a hero. You are not a lone warrior. You are a part of the machine. Fight with discipline. Follow orders. Never break formation. Never run. Because in the chaos of battle, the soldiers who survive aren't the strongest. They aren't the bravest. They're the ones who understand that in Rome's war machine, only the disciplined live.